Greetings and welcome. Thank you for joining us for this conversation about how we move forward after crisis. I am Charles Talbot, Operations Manager here at KGRM, and we are excited to have this conversation because it is time to try to move forward after the things that have been happening on campus. Just for a recap, early morning, Sunday around 1 a.m., there was multiple fires shot on the campus of Grambling State University. 8 victims were confirmed, one of which was a student enrolled with the university. Today here with me, we have Dr. Rudolph Ellis. He is the interim vice president of student affairs here at Grambling State University. And we're just here to discuss how we move forward after crisis and how we try to get back to some type of normalcy after going through what the community and the campus has gone through from the homecoming weekend. Dr. Ellis, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. And Mr. Talbot, thank you for having me today.
No problem. No problem. I want to get straight to it. I know that we have been having activities today. At noon, we did have the prayer calls with President Richard Gallo and the student and faculty and staff. For those who weren't present for that call, what was the mood? What was the feel of that call this morning?
It was an excellent call. As a matter of fact, we started off on Sunday. Immediately after the incident took place, we had started meeting up. The cabinet had started meeting up. President Gallo and other members of the cabinet actually met extremely early in the morning, start moving and trying to go back to that semblance of normalcy and addressing all issues. And one of the key things that was said in the preparation for trying to assist and making sure we go into that semblance of recovery was that we need to make that connect with God. And I love his approach when he said that. And he said, let's do 7 days of fasting and 7 days of prayer. And I think that was imperative. It was touching, realistic, and at the same time, it brought truth to faith. And during that first call, we got everything out to the students. We sent the links out, the Zoom links, and we have been flooded with students participating, community members, faculty. As a matter of fact, on the first call, we had over 70 participants. The second call had over 120. And on the call today, we had over 70 participants, which indicates that we're getting people to participate. And when I'm telling you, it's powerful to hear our students pray and hear our students connect, hear our students make that pleading cry for us to unify and for them to accept God into their lives. I was very moved by all 3 conversations, all 3 services that we've had. So I invite parents, I invite students. Links have been sent out, and I can definitely assure all others that we can send the link out for them to continue participating. It's a 7-day pray and fasting period. So we still have 4 more days to go. So that link can go out and we can get students, parents, and community members to participate. The more we have, the better for us. We want to keep that faith strong, and we want to let students know that we're on the road to recovery and healing.
Excellent, excellent. I love what I'm hearing. What changes can students expect when returning to campus on Wednesday? I know that we had classes shut down here yesterday and today. So what changes can students expect when coming back to campus here on Wednesday, tomorrow?
Well, as it relates to student affairs, there are several changes that will be in place. On Sunday, immediately in our release, we noted that there is an imposed curfew on campus, and it's from 9:30 p.m. to 6 a.m. So within that time, that is an established curfew for university students and university personnel. So we want to encourage students to respect that curfew, honor that curfew. We're anticipating that there's going to be an increase in security on campus. And one key thing that I want to encourage students to always do, make sure they have their student issued ID with them at all times. They are going to be stringent about checking IDs at the various stops. So please have your IDs. If you don't have your IDs on the first time you come in, please make sure you have your fee sheet, or you can display that fee sheet. But I would recommend, and I'm pleading to students to ensure that they have that student ID. I think it is imperative that they have that student ID.
And while we're on reminders about students, I do believe we have a graphic here that we can show our viewing audience just about some of these rules and regulations. Now, this is a reminder: campus security will be enhanced for your safety, and we do have to adhere to the following safety measures. So, not congregating on campus, top on the list. We are going to honor that imposed curfew that you just mentioned from 9:30 p.m. to 6 a.m., and lowering of the music and just being respectful to others. Anytime you see something, obviously we want to say something. We'll also have campus ID checkpoints, and that will continue through all campus entry points. And they are also imposing that you do not allow visitors in your residence hall or your apartment. If you have any questions or you need to report an emergency, you can always contact the GSU Police Department at 318-274-2222. With any questions or additional information, you can always contact Student Affairs as well. So if a student or a parent needs to contact you just to get updates or to check in, what's the best way to reach you, Dr.
You
Ellis?
can either reach me via email, and we have the student affairs email, which is studentaffairs@gram.edu. You could also reach me at my office number at 318-274-6120 or 7723. So I'll repeat that again: 318-274-6120 or 318-274-7723. And I would either be able to provide them with up-to-date information as it pertains to student affairs, or I would direct them to the appropriate personnel who could provide them with accurate information on whatever is transpiring.
Now, I see here that we have a Stronger Together campus activities lined up here. Can you give us a little information about the Stronger Together campus activities, kind of how they come into play, and who all is involved, and what the community and campus can expect from these activities?
When I tell you I'm extremely proud of our Grambling students, our Grambling student leaders, and our team in student affairs. These students came together 24 hours after that initial shock. And mind you, our university and Grambling community has been shaken to the core by this incident. This is not the norm. And this heinous and nonsensical shooting incident, regardless of what it is, has no place at Grambling State University or any higher education institution. So when our students came together, they came up with their own means of trying to bring unity to their campus, even though, adults or students work together. They know what they want as students. They know what they wanted to bring together, and they came up with their own theme, Stronger Together. And they planned a series of activities because we already had previous activities scheduled, but they felt that we had to get activities that were more relative to the circumstances that we were facing. So those activities were either postponed or canceled, and they chose activities that were more at the core of what were relevant today and what is going to be relevant for the next couple of days. One of the key things that I really enjoyed was the video that they did, and it's up on Facebook and several of our platforms right now, which was a short video about their response to gun violence. It was well received. When I last checked it, it had quite a few views, and I would encourage parents, students to go out and look at that video as well. It's really nice, and it sums up how our student leaders feel about it. We have some of the Greek organizations and club and organizations on campus who are planning to launch the Students Against Gun Violence campaign, and they are planning that on their own, and they're getting their voices out. We also have the president of the SGA, Ms. Grambling, and a few other SGA and student leaders who are planning both the vigil and our march against gun violence on our campuses as well. So we have a plethora of activities planned, and I will ensure that when we post this out in the next couple of minutes or the next hour or so, parents are going to be informed about the specifics that they're having. One key discussion that I wanted to do was to ensure parents, students become involved in several of these activities that we're doing. We know it's a trying time, and we either have the counseling center available, we have different measures available to reach out to our students, but I think that level of involvement brings them closer to normalcy that we want, and we're aiming for that level of normalcy. On Wednesday, we have the Weathering the Storm activity by Dr. Tisdale, and of course it's going to be virtual for students, and it's a discussion on circumstances, how we weather it and how we get through this. I'm going to be a part of it because I'm human as well. Even though we
Right.
are facing these circumstances, I suffer as well. I'm a Gramblingite. I graduated from Grambling, so as an alum, I know what it is. But working here, Grambling is everything for me. So I know what it is. So being a part of this, I'm a part of the healing process as well, and I need to heal because this shook me to the core, like everybody else. But I'm a Gremlinite to the bone, and regardless of what I'm sticking with my university. I'm sticking with the circumstances, and we are going to make sure it's better for all of us. We're going to get through this together.
Absolutely. And if you're just tuning in and you're viewing with us here on YouTube, you can see here on the screen, we have contact information for the Student Counseling and Wellness Center. You can contact Dr. Colleen Speed at 231-335-7038. You can contact Tundra Turner at 318-303-6499. And you can also contact Kim Gibson at 504-358-0937. That's awesome that they're having the Weathering the Storm mental health discussion tomorrow, because this type of activity, it can cause trauma for not only the students but the community, the faculty and staff as well. So if you are available to tune in, I think that will be a good way to, like you said, Dr. Ellis, to get some normalcy coming back to our everyday lives here in the Grambling State community. I want to talk about the listening session that you have going on. It says here tomorrow, you just have a general listening session. You also have a breakfast chit chat that's lined up as well. Can you give us a little more information about those
And
events? Because
I was definitely gonna do some discussions on that. Campus living and housing, definitely one of the core areas that has been doing a lot. On Sunday they started the door knocks immediately a couple hours after the incident to make sure that they checked up on all of our students that were within the residence halls. And so we did our emotional and mental checks, and we did door knocks, checking on students. And this has continued and will continue to happen, where we check up on our students. Any
and
student
I,
who needed, yes, sir.
no, I was just saying, I think that that's a great initiative, taking the initiative to go door to door to check on the students, because students may be afraid. You never know how this type of trauma affects you until you go through it. So checking on those students can also give reassurance to the parents that we have that may be out of state or not local enough to physically come down immediately and check on the students. So I think that that's a great initiative with the door-to-door checks as well. And you were mentioning, go ahead, about the other things you have going on with the Department of Housing and students.
And within that, we identified a few core issues. We had students who, as you mentioned, wanted to speak about the incident. There were a few students who needed assistance from counseling, and I'm glad you pointed out the various counselors that we have. Take note that we also have our sister institutions who have reached out and provided us with counseling services as well. So we've had several of the institutions within the ULS who have provided us with assistance, and we are grateful to them for providing us all those counselors who are ready and available, whether it's face to face or they're providing telecounseling. we're getting these services for our students, and I'm happy for that. But one of the key issues that we thought it was imperative to have it's okay to not be an okay breakfast dialogue where we meet up with our students within the residence halls. So we're going to the residence halls, and that's going to be between 9 a.m. and 12 p.m., where we're going to go within the residence halls and have that discussion with the students and give them the opportunity to voice their concerns, and we are going to listen. Our core there is to listen, and it's imperative for them to understand it's okay to not be okay. As I mentioned previously, on Sunday I wasn't okay. I definitely wasn't okay. But in the role that I am, and in the position that I am here as a leader, and I have to take care of all the students and everybody that works within student affairs. So we have to provide the necessary services. So it's imperative for students to know that we're here to listen. We're here for them to talk about their issues and to make sure we try as best as we can to address those specific issues within student affairs for students. Um, the second section, and we have other core members within student affairs that will be out either in the CAF, on the yard, um, meeting in specific spaces, and even meeting online, where we're going to have listening sessions. And these are going to be some sign-up sessions that we're providing where students can meet up with us, and we are going to listen to their concerns and make sure those concerns are heard. I think it is imperative that students' voice are heard. It's a major part of the college experience, and we think it is now that their voices need to be heard. And at the same time, we want actions to be taken as it relates to this specific incident that occurred on campus.
Of everything that I'm hearing about your plans with the students. I also like the theme "Stronger Together." Yes, and now we looks like we have a graphic on screen for the event that's happening tomorrow, Wednesday, October the 20th. Chit chat over donuts and coffee. It's okay not to be okay. We have a first session in Truth Room 223 from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Then we have another session in Douglas on the second floor from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. So you're just going to come in, you're going to have a chat with the interim VP of Student Affairs, and you just get to release. And sometimes talking about what you're going through is the best way to get over what you're going through. I know that the theme that it looks like we have going is Stronger Together. So this is a perfect time for all the GSU student leaders to come together and just make it known that we have outreach and engagement available for students or faculty and staff who may need that comforting during these times. As we come to a close here, Dr. Ellis, I just want to give you a final opportunity. If you could make one statement that could reassure those who may be iffy about the circumstances on campus, what would you say to students or parents that are still concerned about what's going on here on campus?
Our aim is to come back to normalcy. And mind you, we are a strong team. We're a strong university. We're strong people. Adversities happen, but the key behind it is to get through adversities and come out stronger than we were before. We will guarantee that we'll be stronger immediately after. And that's assurances. The way we work together and the way we try to make that change is to be stronger for our students, and that's the direction that we're going.
To communicate with us, if we could get that graphic on screen with the contact information for student affairs to end off on, that would be great, just so those viewers who are there know that they can get in contact with someone. So here we have our student counseling information. You can contact Dr. Colleen Speed at email speedc@graham.edu, Tundra Turner at turnert@graham.edu. And we also have Kim Gibson as well. You can contact at gibsonk@graham.edu. Thank you for joining us for this conversation about how we move forward at the crisis. When we receive more updates tomorrow, we will tune back in with you tomorrow to keep the Grambling State University community updated on the goings on campus. Thank you for joining us again, Dr. Ellis, and everyone stay safe.
See you.